Hello Stampers, welcome to another episode of One Stamp Wonder. We're going to be making this card together, and you're only going to need one stamp, and that's the birthday greetings stamp from the On Your Birthday stamp set. So let's get started. You are going to need a piece of natural ivory cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it in the middle, and we're just going to be folding that in half to create our card base. You are also going to need snail, your two-way or two-sided tape. You're also going to need your paper piercing tool. You're going to need a marker. It doesn't matter which Stampin' Write marker it is. The color doesn't matter. We just need that marker. You're also going to need a bottle of Crystal Effects, and it can be an empty bottle because what we're concerned about is the bottle itself, not what's inside of it. You also are going to need your early espresso ink, and you're also going to want to have some sticky notes, or you can use removable adhesive and plain pieces of paper. So the first thing we are going to do is take 2 of these sticky notes to create a mask for ourselves on our cardstock. So we're going to come, I don't know, this is always the toughest part for me, about 1 inch or 1.5 inches down from the top, and mask that off. And I'm going to use a little bit of removable adhesive on the card to hold that mask down. And then we're also going to mask off the bottom. So again, leaving kind of as much space as you want. But I want our strip here to be about, I don't know, 1 inch or 1.25 inches. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to move this up just a little bit to give us a little bit more of a space to be inking up. Okay, there we go. And where we're going to start, you may have seen me do this in the last episode of One Stamp Wonders. We're going to use our early espresso ink. You'll want to have a paper towel nearby with some Stampin' Mist on it, just because our fingers might get a little inky. And you want to be careful, we're using our paper piercing tool as a stamping object, so you want to be careful of the pointy end. But we're just going to go ahead and roll this in the ink. And you'll notice that some ink is gathering here. That's the part you want to try, whoops, not to get on your fingers. And then we're just going to roll that right onto the cardstock, and then we're going to ink up again. And I don't mind this trail of ink at all. If you're somebody who minds that, you can go ahead and just wipe off that part so that that doesn't happen when you roll this. So then we're going to roll again. This time I'm going to go from the bottom up. It really doesn't matter. We're going to ink it up again and roll it again. And again, you can keep going. I'm going to do this just a couple more times to add just a little bit more texture to this section. Oh, that's lovely. And just a little bit more. Let's go over here again, give it a little bit deeper color, and then maybe let it come down in the middle. Perfect. Oh, it's looking so good. And you want to remember to use some Stampin' Mist and clean off your paper piercing tool. Otherwise, the next time you use it, you're going to have very inky fingers. So we've got that all nice and cleared off, and make sure you put your little cap back on there so you don't hurt your fingers. The next thing we're going to do is actually remove the masks. So we're going to take those off, and we have this really nice strip of texture. You may want to use your adhesive remover if you put down some removable adhesive to hold your masks down. Great. And now what we're going to use is our lovely Crystal Effects bottle. And you'll notice on the bottom it's round and it's got this kind of writing. What's really nice about this is when we stamp this, we're not going to see these words, but we're going to get kind of little stamped bits that make it look very vintagey. So we're just going to go ahead and ink this bottle up, just the bottom of the bottle, inking that up, and then we're going to stamp it onto our cardstock. And we're going to do this multiple times. I think this looks so cool. It reminds me of a clock face or gears. Just think it's got a really, really great retro-y or industrial kind of look. So we're going to stamp that multiple times. You can, overlap in places where you'd like. You can not overlap where you'd like. So this really is up to you how you'd like to ink this up and put your circles on. And I'm just going to put just a tiny one right there. Oh, love it. Of course, I can't ever stop, so we'll put a little bit right there. Left-handed stamping. And then we're going to, again, use a little Stampin' Mist on a paper towel or a baby wipe to clean off our bottle bottom so that we can use it again with different colors in the future. Now what we're going to do is take the top of our Crystal Effects bottle, and you've got two ends here that create really different stamped images. We're going to use this bottom one first, so we're just going to ink that up, and we're just going to randomly stamp it. I love how it has like these little triangular kind of edges when you stamp that one. So again, just randomly stamping it onto your card, and you can stamp it right in that area too. Great. And again, with this one, you're going to want to clean it off since we're about to use it again, but on the other side. So we're going to take a marker. It doesn't matter the color because we're interested in the marker cap, and we're just going to ink up that marker cap. It's a different kind of circle, a really plain, clean circle, and we're going to go ahead and stamp that all over. Again, wherever you would like on your card. That looks pretty good. I just can't stop. I get so excited. And that too we're going to want to clean up. And now we're going to take that Crystal Effects top and ink up the small side. And I like to put one of these dots inside each of the marker stamped images. But you can do whatever you'd like. It's the beauty of this. Just get creative. I think this makes a great male looking card also. Very masculine. And then we're just going to clean off that tip and put it back on our Crystal Effects. Then the last thing we're going to use, I know you've got one of these hanging around, one of your snails. We're going to take it apart. So I want you to just pull it apart and put the adhesive side somewhere else. And I don't know if you've ever looked at these little grippies in this way, but this creates a really cool train track looking kind of image. So to ink this up, you want to use kind of a rolling motion. And you don't want to roll too far because then you're going to get a ton of ink on this part, and that will show up when you go to rock and roll on your stamp project. Although, again, with this, it's just having fun. So I'm going to turn this sideways, and we're just going to roll this little line image kind of up the card. So rock and roll. Love this. Who knew you had all of these wonderful stamps and you didn't even have to buy them as stamps? So these serve multiple purposes. You're going to never look at things in your craft room the same way now that you see all of these things you can use to stamp with that make fabulous cards. So we're going to clean that off because we definitely don't want early espresso all over our snail in the future. And the last piece, we're going to bring in our Stamp-A-Majig, if you like doing things straight on your cards. And we're going to put our imaging sheet on the nice shiny side and put our majig in the corner. And then we are going to take the Birthday Greetings stamp from the On Your Birthday stamp set. And we're just going to ink that up and then stamp it right there in the corner. And then we're going to take our imaging sheet and get our card and find where we would like it to say Birthday Greetings. We could go in the right corner. I kind of like it in the left for some reason. I like how that looks. And then we're going to bring our little corner back in and pick that up carefully without lifting the card. Ink our stamp up again. And then boom, right down there in the corner. Ah, love it. And there you have it, a really simple card using only one rubber stamp. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of One Stamp Wonder. I hope you have a lot of fun trying this out in your own space, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon here in the craft room.